Thanks, Joe. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank y'all for being here today. With y'all being here, it probably means that the Super Bowl just got played and baseball season is upon us. That's kind of the annual deal. So, congrats to all the Birds fans out there. Sorry, Chiefs fans. We've got a couple on our staff that are big Chiefs fans, but excited to talk baseball here today. It's hard to believe that opening day is upon us, but we've got a really fun group that has worked extremely hard since our first opening team meeting in late August. A lot of people think that baseball season kind of starts now, but this group's been working extremely hard since August. We've got 28 new players a part of this group after a number of our players have graduated and moved on to professional baseball. And we've got a phenomenal schedule in front of us with a lot of teams that have competed in the NCAA tournament the last few years, even the College World Series. We've got a couple of signature games in professional ballparks, I believe, on Tuesday, April 8th in Kannapolis against Gardner-Webb, and we love going over there to Kannapolis and playing in that Atrium Health ballpark. It's a beautiful venue for us to play and for our guys to get a pro experience, and then kind of the theme of the week in playing professional ballparks, we'll go uptown on Friday, April 11th, and we'll play East Carolina in the first game of our 3-game conference series there in Truist Ballpark, which I'm sure will be, just really an awesome crowd and event before we come back here on campus on Saturday and Sunday. So, just like I said, we've got a lot of new faces, some really key returners as well on our team that our coaching staff's worked very hard to assemble this group. And I'm just excited to have a really good Northeastern come down from Boston and play this weekend regardless of the weather. I'm excited to play.
Coach, as I understand it, you're kind of the line mentality, the message you've been preaching and trying to instill this year. What exactly does that mean to you, and why was that kind of the first way to, give to the team?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's more of like an internal thing, I guess. But since you asked about it, essentially the lion's the king of the jungle. He's not necessarily the strongest, the smartest, or the fastest, or the biggest, but it takes sort of all the intangible things on top of a mindset to be the king of the jungle. And for us, that's really falling in love with the process of the hunt and not being consumed by the outcome of the kill. And it's just kind of like, for me in my experience, the best teams that I've gotten to be a part of here at Charlotte and other places and as a player, the teams that kind of have that mindset tend to have success. So we've just really tried to embody that and catch ourselves when we feel like we're getting into gazelle mode, where we care more about the outcomes or the scores, and the results versus like really what goes into the preparation or the hunt.
And how did you see you guys really embody that this offseason? You said obviously it's a packed offseason and you're putting in a lot of work. What did you see from them to really embody from that mindset?
Yeah, I think most coaches will tell you that there's always days where and you do this a number of years. Like we started in August, right? So everybody's excited in August and everybody's excited in early September, right? But like how are you going to get after it in October, where you're kind of 6 weeks into a fall, opening day's not around the corner? How are you, when you go home for winter break, nobody's watching, how are you going to get after it when nobody's around and that sort of thing? So just with this group, I would say that there's days where I almost anticipate us having to like get them going as a coaching staff, and this group there hasn't been too much of that. There's even been days where it's like, whoa, like, I was kind of expecting like yesterday, for example, like it's our 10th scrimmage of the preseason. Our guys have seen each other more times than I think every team in the country will tell you by this time they're all ready to see another uniform, right? But, yesterday might have been our most competitive scrimmage of the preseason. And, guys are really fighting, and they're in the hunt for helping our team get ready for another uniform. And so just stuff like that. Obviously the weight room with Coach McKibben, that's really where it's built, and then it translates out on the field.
Where's the strength in this roster this year? Your pitching, your hitting, and you want to be well-rounded, but obviously
Yeah, I mean, I would just say it's tough for me to really pinpoint. I mean, we've got, on the mound and defensively, like in our exhibitions and our scrimmages, I feel like when the game starts, we have a general sense of like we're going to throw strikes, we're going to fill up the zone. When the ball's put in play, we're going to make plays. Offensively, we feel like our lineup is not contingent upon, and its success is not contingent upon one or two guys. Like I mean, we feel like very confident that we can run 10, 11 hitters out into that lineup, and just because a guy's hitting 7, 8, 9 doesn't mean he can't put the ball out of the yard. So, and just because a guy's hitting 7, 8, 9 to start the season doesn't mean that that's where he's going to be 2 or 3 weeks from now. We just really like our depth this year in terms of the guys that are returning and the guys that our coaching staff has brought in. So, I mean, I'm naturally going to always gravitate towards building a team around pitching and defense. I think this team has shown that. Last year, we lost a lot of guys to graduation. I think we had 13 graduates and 6 guys professionally. So, I think I think we've kind of filled those gaps coming into 2025, really kind of building off of the 2023 team that won Conference USA and, beat a really good Clemson team down in a regional. Like, we feel like this has kind of been 18 months in the making building this team. Can you hyphenate lion mode? I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, that's just, like was touched on earlier. I would just say this team's in lion mode, and I would be shocked if at any point that let up, regardless of the circumstances.
You brought up some of the talent in the draft, and all these. I guess in some ways, what type of privilege is it for a program to have that type of talent, to have 4 kids, to have those type of guys coming from the outfield?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's there's a lot of, I have one of the coolest jobs in college baseball. I mean, I get to coach college baseball in my hometown where I grew up, and so for me, it's like seeing numbers go on the outfield wall. Those get put there by tremendous players, and all the guys that have, even before I got to come and have this opportunity. I mean, there's a long list of guys that have just come through here and help our program have success, and now you get to see 17 of them in professional baseball, which I think is a program record to have that many guys playing professional baseball. And our coaching staff's very proud of that, because that's what we recruit to. I mean, we recruit to guys coming to Charlotte, getting their degree, helping us win championships, and then making a living playing professional baseball and going after the big leagues. So to have 17 guys, program record, and even with a 20-round shortened draft from 40, which is what it used to be. I think I myself might have even been like a 46th rounder back in 2006. So, I mean, it's just, we're really proud of that, and that's what we sell on the front end. And so to see it kind of go full circle with guys coming here, getting their degrees, getting drafted, playing professional baseball, coming back here and training in the off season, being around our guys, who are here trying to help us win championships and go to pro ball. Like, it's all connected. And so, yeah, certainly very proud of that.
What type of culture do you think that allows you to establish when you have those pro guys coming back and kind of spreading the message of here's what kind of made me successful, here's what you can do? I mean, what type of culture does that establish?
You mean, you always hear about the best programs are player led. Best teams are player led. I think something for us, like Coach Bicknell will call it decentralized command from his Air Force Academy days, where it's like, we set the foundation, we set the road, we lay out the roadmap. These are the standards at which we really want the program to be, about. But then the rest is kind of like, hey, this is your team, this is your program, this is your locker room, and our best teams here, the best teams I've been a part of, have really had that. And so I just think it sets each group up to be at their best, but also provides a place where when guys get done playing here, this is really home for them because they're invested.
How soon is Devin
Well, you're going to hear from some of them. They're here. They're here today. Just just on the mound for us. Blake Gillespie, transfer from Georgia, has been just a workhorse for us since he's gotten here. Excited to see him, get the ball each weekend. And then behind the plate, Logan Poteet, Vanderbilt transfer. He's done a tremendous job in all facets of the game, just managing the pitching staff, catching, throwing, offensively for us. Carson Bayne is preseason all-conference player, returning player for us, who is just one of my favorite players to coach from the standpoint that I think every team needs a guy like Carson to kind of be that spark plug and that ball of energy that's going to run through a wall on every single play. And other teams are probably not going to like him too much, but I love that. You always got to have a guy like Carson. So having him back is really big, and then we've got the Division III National Player of the Year coming in here in Connor Maryniak, who is going to play shortstop. He's going to play third. He's going to pitch for us. He's just a really, really good ball player. So you'll hear from those guys today, and we've got a lot of others that I'm excited for everybody to get to know and meet. Like I said, we have 28 new ones, so that's a lot of official visits. That's a lot of New Jersey numbers. So it's going to be a completely different group this year, and I'm excited for everybody to see them play.
With 28 new players, you hear about roster turnover in other sports. 28 is almost a completely new team. Am I missing that? I mean, it's like you're almost starting from scratch because you're taking some of last year and even the year before and just making teammates to build. What's the challenge of getting these guys on the same page and playing together?
I think it's the fun part of coaching. I think team building, your season ends, no matter whether it's with us or any sport. I think, you kind of look at who's coming back and what those guys' strengths and weaknesses are, and then what's available out there in the transfer portal and the high school market and whatnot, and that sort of thing. And then you just try to fill the gaps. And, we put we still have a lot of old school, recruiting practices in terms of like official visits coming here. We spend full, 24 to 48 hours with guys. We go have breakfast. We go to dinner. Like, we show them everything. They meet every single person on our staff, which is really hard to do this day and age in the transfer portal, because I think, there's so much of it is so fast. And, we just want to make sure that we're as thorough as we can possibly be while being fast. I give a ton of credit to, Toby Bicknell and Phil Sebuar and Michael O. and those guys, Tyler Simmons, they're relentless behind the scenes, and they're recruiting great players and people to our program. But like you said, it's personalities, that's a huge part of it. Obviously you want to recruit talented players, but you want to recruit personalities that, are going to be in that locker room, and they're not all going to be the same. And, but they're all going to kind of share a vision. And so that's where, you try as best as you possibly can to fill that locker room with those things and get guys here to play for the 9 across the chest, whether they're here for 1 year, 2 years, or 6 in some cases. And that's kind of our MO. But, people ask me all the time what my thoughts are on the transfer portal. It just is what it is. I'm 40 years old. I want to coach for a long time. Like, it doesn't really matter what my opinion is. It just is what it is. And I would say that, in the last 4 years, we've had 35 players get degrees from this university through our program. We've had 17 players go into professional baseball. We've been able to win 2 championships in the last 4 years. So I don't know. It's hard for me to really complain about the transfer portal and the roster limits and all those sort of things when I feel like it's been great for our program. Yeah, I think, again, it's just you go back to kind of when we first started as a staff. You go look at Austin Knight, who started at Tennessee, and then he came here and was a first-team All-American. You go look at Jack Dragum, who started his career at Virginia, and he was a 3-time All-Conference player at shortstop. And then you go to Cam Fisher, who started his career at Ole Miss and by way of Walter State Junior College makes his way here, and he hits 30 home runs for us. And how he's not a Golden Spikes finalist, I have no idea. I'm still going to be on that soapbox for Cam. But, it's just the game and these rosters, like the game's just, it's an older game. It's a more physical game. Like you watch the College World Series, there's a lot of 21, 22, 23-year-old guys who are 205, 210 plus pound on average teams. Like they're just older, bigger physical teams. And so, for us, like you said, we like to get guys here who when we have the opportunity to, along with the young guys in the development, to kind of blend it with, that experience and that maturity with the young high school talented players that are coming in here, who've come through our program, the Nate Furmans, the David McCabe's, the Jake Cunninghams, guys who have come out of high school through our program, who have gotten drafted, and just put it all, try to really blend it together. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's been in the trenches. He's been on that mound. He's been in the weight room. He's been in that locker room. He's been at the apartments. And I don't know. I mean, again, every single year I do this, I get older, and I try very hard to not forget. I started coaching at the Division I level when I was 25, and so I try very hard not to forget, just what life was like around then. And I like to make sure that we have guys like Coach Hansen and Coach O and Coach Miney and just guys that have been younger and really just in tune, just to kind of make sure that it's like a checks and balances. It's like, hey, the guys can use this, they need this. Like, hey, you can push them like this, they're fine, they'll be okay. Like just making sure that we've got some younger voices that have a good pulse on our guys, and making sure that they're having the experience that we want them to have, and try to get the best versions of them while they're here. So, again, Coach Hansen is, Coach Hansen's replacing Michael O, who took a full-time pitching coach job with the St. Louis Cardinals down in Palm Beach, which, I mean, again, just on the long list of things that make my job so cool is that, I've gotten to work with number of guys now who are living their dreams coaching in the professional ranks. I mean, he's now working for Coach Miney, who's the pitching coordinator for the Cardinals, who was our pitching coach a few years ago. So, I'm just really proud of sort of the Charlotte baseball tree that, on the playing and coaching side, that's happening. And I'm just excited for Coach Hansen to really start his coaching career. I mean, he's got an incredibly bright future. It's easy to see. Our guys will tell you. He's already doing a tremendous job helping me on the pitching side, and Coach McKibben on the strength side. I mean, the sky's the limit. If he wants to be one of the best baseball performance coaches in the country one day, he could do it. If he wants to be one of the best pitching coaches in the country one day, he could do it, just from what I've seen. No, it's I think every year I get more excited for the players. I think when I was a player and I was a younger coach, it was more like, not that I was excited for me, but it was like I get to put a uniform on and this and that. It's just like, it's not about me. Like, it's all about our players and the experiences that they get to have. And I know how hard they've worked and the sacrifices that they've made, the faith and belief that they've had to leave wherever they were to come be here and be a part of this, and now they get to go do it. And so I don't know. So yeah, I'm as excited now as I've ever been, but just it's kind of transitioned more into just being fired up for the guys and see them play and go fulfill their dreams of what they wanted to do in college baseball here with us.
I really think like this program's big on like being a family and like being a brotherhood here. And when the new guys come in, I just kind of like welcome them in and just kind of let them know that we're all a family here and that we're going to grow together as a team, and we have a lot of goals ahead of us, and we're really looking for that big prize, and it starts by being a family. So just kind of welcome them in and get that brotherhood going.
Logan, I guess from the other angle of it, what made Charlotte Baseball come to you? What's it been like?
Yeah. So like as soon as I came on my visit, it just like immediately the coaching staff, it was just like they felt like family. Coach Woodard, Steve, just letting me straight in, and like getting on campus, it was just like what he said. We mesh really well. Like they like we all hang out with each other all the time. Like we're together every single day, even off the field, on the field, everywhere. So yeah, it's just like everything's a family. We love each other, and we just build off of that.
When you guys are having these scrimmages, Coach said, hey, we may have just had our most competitive one yet. Those relationships that you've built, how much do those help when you're in those moments and being competitive against each other? Kind of being able to disconnect that from, hey, we're always still close, but we're able to have that competitive.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it is like very competitive. I would say yesterday was one of our best ones. It was just like we bicker, we fight, but we know like we're playing against each other, but we know we're one team and one family at the end. So yeah, we just like we're playing against each other, but we're all together at the end. So.
Yeah, I just think we all have a lot of respect for each other, and it just helps us push each other harder, especially like out here in the scrimmages. It brings everything out of us and just helps us have that competitive fire when we play against each other.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's just like we're ready to go. It feels like it's right around the corner. We're just ecstatic to get out there and be like one team and have one jersey on, not be split up in each dugout. So.
Yeah, all those late nights and early mornings is what you work for, and it's 4 days away now, and we're all fired up and pumped up.
This could be for both of you. As I understand it, during the scrimmages, there was kind of almost like a trade system where one guy may come into the game, replace another guy. It was always kind of kept you guys on your heels. What does that do for you guys in just being prepared throughout during the scrimmages?
Just you can never take any opportunity for granted. I mean, we got a lot of guys on this team that they're hungry, and I mean, you really can't pinpoint one guy at each position. Like we have a lot of depth on this team, and I feel like there's 2 or 3 guys at each position that are ready to go and that are going to make an impact this year. And so it just keeps you on your toes, and just can never take anything for granted.
Yeah, and just like what Coach Woodard said earlier, it was just like we have 11, 12, 13 guys that can come into the game like no matter what and affect the game immediately. So yeah, just that's great for us like moving forward.
Just talked about the intensity of the scrimmages. We talked about, and Coach talked about how you got some of the guys that spend the time in games. Does that kind of depth help keep everybody sharp, knowing that, okay, I'm not hitting well today, but I know guys behind me can do the job. So does that help keep you guys focused on being at the top as best you can every day? Because it's a long season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you like we're competing against each other to keep the job every single day. Like no job's given to us every single day. We have to earn it. So it's just like knowing you have somebody behind you that can affect the game just as much as you can is just like, you have to be on your A game all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said a minute ago, it's just you can never take any opportunity for granted. You can't.
Coming from outside looking in, what's it been like getting to know the coaching staff, getting to kind of get on the same page with all these guys that are also a lot of new faces too? What's that been like for you and just?
Yeah, so coming in, just like there was like 28 new players, so it was just like everybody was just like we have to mesh, or it's like it has to work. So like everybody's just open arms, like getting to know each other from day one. It's just like learning them, learning their pitch types, and just like getting to know them as a person on the field and off the field too. So.
Well, what type of benefit is that coach who thinks obviously what does that do for a catcher to have a guy that understands?
Yeah, so yeah, working closely with him has definitely helped. Like understand the pitching staff, understand how he works, understands how he likes them to work, and how he calls a game, and how like we're going to work together throughout the season.
Carson, you're the intense guy out there. Who are the other guys that bring it?
There's one sitting right back here, Connor Maryniak. He brings a fire each day. Poteet, he brings a fire each day. He might not be too vocal with it, but he brings it. And then another guy, Blake Gillespie, on the mound. He's just an absolute animal out there, and you can see the fire in him, and you can see that he's a competitive warrior. I mean, like Skip said, I mean, it's a mentality, and I mean, the lion is the king of the jungle. So, I mean, you just kind of think about like, I mean, Coach says it a lot. You can't do great things being a gazelle. So I just kind of think about that, and that's how I go about my day each day, and just yeah.
The way I think about it is, so a lion is like obviously the king of the jungle, but they're very flat-lined. They don't get too high, too low. It's just like they're always on the hunt. They're never content, but they're always on the hunt. So just staying flat-lined throughout the season. Just like if you win, staying in the middle. If you lose, staying in the middle. Just keeping a flat line throughout everything.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it my whole life, and thankfully coaches have allowed me to do both. I never really had to pick one, and Coach Woodard obviously gave me the opportunity to do both here, which I appreciate. And I think going about my business, the same way I always have. I get my pitcher's work done. If I have to stay late just to get all my, plyo balls in or my routine done to make sure I have, the utmost training. And Coach O and Coach Hans have been great with managing my arm, playing the infield, and obviously pitching. So I think, and Donna with our trainer with my arm care as well. Just a really group effort in order to, kind of make this thing work and in order to, have success for the season.
What exactly did you maybe learn there that you've been able to kind of instill here? I mean, how have you maybe indoctrinated yourself in this team, getting with Logan? I mean, what's that process been like growing?
Sure, yeah. I mean, kind of just learning to take the day one day at a time, one pitch at a time, and really slowing the game down. Every moment is the same. So kind of taking that experience and bringing it to guys here, making them realize that, one pitch isn't bigger than another necessarily, and just taking the process-oriented mindset one day at a time. Yeah, I'll go ahead. I mean, really excited. This is what we've worked for since we got here. I mean, all 28 new guys coming from new places, and then the returners, but working together as a family, and then all the late nights, early mornings, just really can't wait to see our hard work pay off, and we're ready for that first pitch.
Yeah, kind of going off what he said, I can speak for all the guys, and we're hyped to see another team roll in, and it's going to be a great weekend. They're a great team from up north, and we know we have to come out firing right away.
Both of you guys being understaffed, that does put so much emphasis on defense. What is that like to almost have that type of empowerment for the staff and that support from really the top of it?
Yeah, gives you a lot of trust, when you go in every day and your head coach has been there before, he's been through it, and all the support staff are backing you. You have the trust to just go in and execute your process every day, and the one thing you can guarantee is hard work, and then you can't control the results, so just having a coach that really hammers that home, and yeah, just being process oriented.
Yeah, I've always been told that pitching and defense wins championships, and that's got to be the main point of a team, main focal point of a team, because hitting comes and goes, but pitching and defense needs to be the one common thing. And kind of going off an infield perspective, having your pitchers back, making plays for them, and then from the pitcher's perspective, just like he said, knowing that your infielders are gonna have your back when you're on the mound, and you have full confidence in them to make the plays. It's a good feeling to have.
From being, coming from these three players, what exactly do you think you're able to bring from that level up here that, maybe wasn't here before? What do you feel you're able to bring?
Yeah, I mean, I just go out and I play like kind of what Carson was saying, like with a fire, and a lot of these guys on this team have, which was common with my last team as well. So kind of that bringing that energy and that fire and passion into this culture, and even though there's 28 new guys, you really wouldn't know. I mean, we're such a close group of guys already, and you really can't tell that we all came from different spots. So just kind of all gelling together quickly, it kind of shows how close knit of a group we are, and we're ready to go to battle.
On that topic, what is that process like when 28 or 36 guys on the roster are all coming in? I mean, how do you bond? How do you build? Is it just in the weight room? Is it on the field? Is it away from the facility? I mean, it just seems like 28 personalities blending into one into 20 at a time. Seems like it's a hard lift.
Yeah, well, it took me a little bit to get everybody's name, but just like Poteet said, off the field, on the field, we always go out, get food together, and early mornings in the weight room, that's really where you make your most, where you grind with your guys, and you just kind of fight for the person next to you in a way, and even like Coach said, like in the scrimmages, like we're competitive every weekend. It doesn't really matter, how everybody's feeling. Everyone goes out and gives it 100% every time. So I really like that about this group, and I feel like that's kind of helped us gel so quickly and become so close.
Yeah, I mean, starts with the early morning lifts, 6 a.m. lifts, right away to the late nights. We're always at the field, and just kind of happens naturally. It's not something you can really force. Being everyone has their own personality, but everyone gels together and understands the one common theme is family. So we're all there for each other, and yeah, just getting back to the default of that. We're all a family. We're all great friends off the field, and those are relationships that are going to last a lifetime. So just embracing that and just being one team, one fight, one family.
Coach brought up, the competitiveness just in all aspects, but especially when you are kind of balanced. Obviously, when you're on the field, everyone can see that, but you bring up the weight room. What does the competitive mix look like in the weight room when you don't have fans watching? No one's watching, but that was obviously from Zoom itself in the beginning of the season.
I'll go ahead. I mean, just the testosterone going on in a weight room, like that's competitive within itself. You look to the guy in the rack next to you, and you're going to try and outlift him, and you kind of just drive everyone to be better. And if everyone has kind of the same mindset of I'm going to get better today, and I'm going to drive this person next to me, then the results are going to follow, and we're going to get better.
Yeah, going off that, Coach McKibben comes in every morning absolutely fired up, and it kind of gets the boys fired up, even if it's early in the morning. And the kind of culture we breed in the weight room, and when someone's going for a big max or they're kind of trying to get their personal record, everyone's around the bench or the squat rack, cheering them on, and it kind of speaks to the culture we have as well. And even behind closed doors, we're there for each other, and kind of showing how much like we want them to succeed in a way. Yeah, I'm a little more intense on the mound than I am in the box. But, I kind of keep a balance between the two in a way. I never can get too high or too low. If I have a bad at-bat, I know I have to go out on the mound and do my job out there to help this team. And kind of what Poteet said, saying on that fine line of, not getting too high when you have success and not getting too low because it could flip in an instant.